Typically when I get an idea for a design, I just think about it a lot in my mind before I draw anything and sort of daydream about it. Eventually I'll make a sketch, maybe. Sometimes I get it so well defined in my head that I never actually even sketch it out. You know, I started building really as a kid. From as young as I can remember, my dad and I would go into the garage and I'd come up with some idea and he would help me figure out how to build it. I've just always loved to make things and create things. When I got married, my wife had some different ideas for pieces of furniture for me to build, and as I started building them, everyone was kind of consistently surprised at how well everything turned out. And so the more I built, the more ideas my wife had for other things I could build. So eventually she had the idea for me to build a bed, and I built the bed and she loved it and I loved it, and that's really what started me down this path of having a business. Before I knew it, I had people lining up to buy beds and nightstands from me. That's kind of how this whole thing got started. Typical day for me, I wake up, hop in the wagon, head down to the lumberyard, and I'm spending anywhere from 1 to 3 hours going through boards. The other part of it that really is amazing for me is when you see the oil go on it. Suddenly you take this wood that you can tell is beautiful, but you put oil on it and you see all of this amazing richness in the grain, and all these things that you didn't even really realize were there suddenly come to the surface, and the piece just starts to sing in a whole new way. We've been painstakingly sanding and shaping and doing all these things, but suddenly they come together to form something that's really useful. I love the idea of taking a cabinet, turning legs on my lathe, and putting the legs into the cabinet, and suddenly it's not sitting on the ground anymore, it's lifted up off the ground, and it begins to feel like a piece of furniture. And at that point you start imagining what this piece is going to be like in someone's home and how it's going to make someone's home more interesting, more beautiful. So this has been a homegrown operation, and it's me and a couple of friends who we're all working out of our garages, and we're producing really quality stuff. And typically when a piece is done, if it's something local, either in LA or San Francisco, then I'm loading it up into the station wagon and either driving it out myself or sending my buddy Chad out to bring it to you. We'll set it up, we'll assemble it, and it's a little piece of Deeble in your home. I'm really excited about the idea of having a California-based production facility where we can make handcrafted, high-quality goods coming out of California to ship all over the world. About 2 months ago, I finally moved out of my garage into a proper workshop, and that's been a really exciting next step in the evolution of the business. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for Pete Deeble Furniture as we continue to build furniture right here in Southern California.